Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in the series between Foggy and Sonic. Here we have Foggy spawning as the yellow Night Elf over here at what I'll call the 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Sonic has spawned as the red Night Elf over here at what I'll call the 1 o'clock position. This is on Nomad Isle 1.3, I believe. Don't quite know the difference between all the numbers, but let's go ahead and break down what we saw in the previous game and what we can expect to see in this particular game. Now, we did see the openings of the standard Demon Hunter, very common in this matchup, just because the Demon Hunters seem to cancel each other out. We then saw the eventual transition into Druids of the Dryads, Druids of the Claw, and teching to tier 3 while the Demon Hunters got to level 3. Some early harassment was rather effective on both sides, but the big drop, or the big turning point in the game, was, I believe, the taking down of the Hunter's Hall. Now, I am going to go ahead and slow things down as Foggy now purposely going for a Priestess of the Moon. This particular strategy is rather interesting, and it works extremely well against the Demon Hunter strategy because the Priestess of the Moon doesn't need that much mana in order for the searing arrows to be effective. One of the ways to counter the use of Demon Hunter is to just Foggy Foggy Sonic. One of the ways to counter that early Demon Hunter is by just allowing the Demon Hunter to really not be able to mana burn. Since he's not really able to mana burn the primary hero, and also not really able to mana burn the Dryads either, the real target ends up being something Alright, the fourth Shadow Priest is off over here. He's able to get a shot off there. No, it is not. The Demon Hunter is going to go ahead and get the shot there, as the Demon Hunter now goes after the Forest Troll Shadow Priest. Forest Troll Shadow Priest was stolen by Foggy, as we now see the Priestess of the Moon, who got True Shot Aura first. Interesting choice. It will get mana burn, but as you know, the mana burn is not going to really be all that frightening. Yes, it is going to take moon juice from those moon wells to replace the hit points and the mana, but the Priestess of the Moon pretty much knows that, you know what, I'm pretty much in a position where I can be very just annoying and harass a lot. You can take a look. Wisp off over here. Forest Troll Shadow Priest still healing. The Priestess of the Moon is now trying to run away, and all of the hit points that the Priestess of the Moon is losing and mana that is losing, the Demon Hunter is also losing that bit of mana as well. Also, the Talisman of Evasion is perhaps the possible worst item for that Demon Hunter from that creep camp, as the Priestess of the Moon now heads back off to the north. Is it going to be able to pick off any more units? That is going to be the big question there. It could try and pick up the Tome of Agility, and it is going to do exactly that, picking up the Tome of Agility and now being able to escape once more. There is a Shadow Meld, and without an easy way to reveal, I'm not quite sure what is going to be happening next. All right, Demon Hunter, where is it running off to? Is it going to try and purchase Dust of Appearance? It is, as the Priestess of the Moon still wandering around here, unable to finish off that Forest Troll Berserker. Now, you may be wondering, what is Foggy really doing with this type of harassment? He's actually building up his army of Huntresses back at home. The Huntresses all benefit from that True Shot Aura, dealing a little bit more damage, as we now see the Forest Troll Shadow Priest coming back out again here. Alright, there is a mana burn again, and the Priestess of the Moon pretty much out of mana already, as she now tries to run back home. Demon Hunter does have Boots of Speed though, and is continuing to give chase. The Demon Hunter now out of mana, as the Priestess of the Moon is looking to try and get away. That Demon Hunter is extremely fast, as we see a Huntress get in harm's way to try and get that Demon Hunter off course. Nicely done, well done there. We may see another mana burn here in just a moment. No, the Priestess of the Moon now just running away again, as we're looking at the Huntresses doing a bit of harassment still. Alright, not quite sure what to make of this. A lot of action happening all in different locations on the map. Foggy, or the Huntress, able to get in some shots here, and all this Priestess of the Moon is doing is running around this one particular rock location. It looks as though the Demon Hunter is getting in some shots, but that Priestess of the Moon is benefiting or getting in some additional damage, as well as a second Huntress now coming in. Alright, there is evasion. We are going to be seeing a bit of fighting here, as the Priestess of the Moon is taking a lot of damage. Also, a lot of damage is being missed. Are we going to see perhaps a unit surround? There is a bit more mana, as we are looking at the Demon Hunter taking a lot more damage than I think he would have expected. The big difference is that Huntresses do deal normal damage rather than the piercing damage of those archers. So the Huntresses actually deal more damage per shot than the archers do to the other respective hero. Alright, let's take a look at this here. Alright, Renegade Wizard gonna get taken out very quickly. You can see that bounce damage happening straight onto the other Rogue Wizard right there. There is a bit of range there as well, as we see the Frost Armor now come in once again. A little bit of damage still being added here. It looks as though that Frost Wolf will end up getting taken down. The Huntress is, however, not going to get slowed down by that Frost Armor. Just have to deal with that additional 0.3 armor there. Priestess of the Moon most likely now has some went for an Owl Scout. That Owl Scout doing what it's doing best, and being an imitation owl and, well, scouting around. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter making its way back down. There is a Tree of Life already in position. And wow, a Tree of Life expansion coming in from Foggy already. I do not believe Sonik was expecting this at all, as we now see a fair number of archers making their way out. The Demon Hunter may be able to get to level 3 off of this creep camp. Meanwhile, the Tree of Life is going to get into position and root itself. We are at Tree of Ages. We did get Nature's Blessing, hence the Tree of Life moving slightly faster than normal, and will be able to root itself here in just a moment. Alright, Ancient of War finally in position to try and keep out this creep camp, picking up some of the necessary items. Druid of the Talon now being added as well. So this is a strange 1-1-1 build, so to speak. One Ancient of War, one Ancient of Lore, one Ancient of Wind, all being added to get some very interesting unit combinations. Foggy perhaps catching his opponent off guard, as the Demon Hunter is just here wasting his time or trying to prevent this gold mine from getting entangled, and that's all he can really do. You can take a look at this entangled gold mine, a little bit of damage there, some slow now being cast. Oh, this could potentially be very bad. Are we going to get a unit surround? And it looks as though we could. There is that -5 armor. There is another slow, and the Demon Hunter taking additional damage right now. That Demon Hunter was not ready for that, using that very well useful Mud Golem there. Sonik, however, opting to go a different route as well, and now has gone for Hippogriff Riders. Hippogriff Riders are able to poke down at these wisps. Ancient of Winds will be forced to try and train Hippogriffs as well, as the entangled gold mine is nearly done. We are at tier 2. I don't see a secondary hero yet, as the Demon Hunter is still sitting at level 2. Perhaps wants to try and clear out some of this here. Alright, we do see the entangled gold mine. Dryads are in position. Priestess of the Moon is now starting to fight back here. +6 damage with True Shot Aura level 2. And all of those units do in fact want to back off. Alright, very high damage there. Wisp all in position, now going to start mining from this gold mine here. We could be seeing some repairs now coming in, as the Hippogriffs are just trying to take down some of these units, but it is not going to be an easy fight up here until the Hippogriff anti-air does come into play. Alright, one Hippogriff trying to take down some of these Hippogriff fighters. Are these guys going to dismount? That is going to be the big question there. Is it going to actually get taken down there, as we see more and more Hippogriff fighters come across, finishing off that guy there. Alright, Demon Hunter now making its way off to the north. This one Hippogriff extremely low on hit points, as we see the Hippogriff Riders of Sonik looking to poke apart these Dryads. However, an Ancient Protector in position, catching one of the Hippogriff Riders off guard, and Sonik with just Hippogriff Riders hoping to stop this expansion, but all he's really going to do is equalize the economic standings. He is not going to actually be able to get ahead. There is far too much piercing damage just from the mercenary camp because of this extra gold mine here. Now this Ancient Protector should be able to root itself here in just a moment, as the Owl Scout is making its way down. Back down across over here, you can take a look. Those Hippogriff Riders are currently being revealed. That -4 armor, giving an overall damage bonus of 17%, or 17% is really hurting, as Sonic's still trying to fly around with these units. Alright, it looks as though these units are going to be getting into positions. However, Hippogriff Rider diving straight in, but not going for the lowest hit point unit. That, my friend, was a mistake, as the units are now dropping straight into here. All right, are we going to see some damage being added? Yes, it looks as though some hippogriffs are going to be taking damage back again once more, as the Demon Hunter looking to get some damage here. All right, Mud Golem does get taken down, as we now see the Demon Hunter trying to engage. That's not going to work as either, as the Owl Scout still keeping track of things, and the Druids of the Talon and the Forest Troll Berserker still trying to fight all of this back off.
The town is under siege.
Back across over here, we can see another Wisp was taken out, and Sonik with these Hippogriff Riders is playing a decent harassment game. Meanwhile, the Priestess of the Moon, well, not quite sure who used the Moonstone there, but it is going to fill the Moon Wells up on both sides. A little bit difficult to have a nighttime advantage in a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match. Foggy, losing a lot of hit points on this Entangled Gold Mine now, is going to go ahead and try and repair it. There is a Hippogriff joining in on the fight, but it is going to get pelted down rather quickly, as the Druid of the Talon does cast one Fairy Fire, only to end up getting, well, shot at extremely heavily. All right, it looks as though the Hippogriff is going to poke. There goes one, unable to finish off another. Meanwhile, back off to the north, more and more units are getting hired back up. All right, there is Sonik coming in across right there. However, Foggy has used his opponent's mercenary camp to spend that additional gold, and that is a big, big win for Foggy. Foggy now able to use 2 sets of mercenary camps to try and spend all of his additional resources, and that is going to help him out tremendously. You can take a look back over here. There is a Ring of Protection +2, and the Priestess of the Moon, come on, he was just standing right next to it. Not quite sure why he did not pick it up, as the Huntresses are now joining in on the fight as well. All right, Priestess of the Moon apparently wanting to avoid the ring, doesn't want to put a ring on it, as we're looking at the Ancient of Winds getting pelted down as well. All right, the Huntresses do have range attack, but they do hit with normal attack here, so that does mean that the buildings are much more vulnerable to the army of Foggy. We are at 35 over 50 compared to 68 over 70. That economic advantage far too much. And Foggy gonna win this game straight out by having more resources and a larger army. Macro definitely the deciding factor in game number 2 here. The Hippogriffs unable to do very much, and that was all possible by Foggy's just constant pressure with the Priestess of the Moon delaying the Demon Hunter from really figuring out what's happening on the other end. The archers do end up dismounting in order to fight back the remaining Hippogriffs. Archers are still trying to fight back here. Let's take a look. Another Hippogriff is going to get taken down. Bears are now back out, but too many buildings were lost. Sonik now down to 38 over 40, lost a number of key Moonwells as well. As Foggy now in position with the Ancient War to try and fight all of this back again. Anything within range of the Ancient War is pretty much within range of the entire Yellow Night Elf party, and Sonik does say congrats, GG, as Foggy does take game number 2 in this series. Overall, score-wise, it looked rather even, the unit score, units produced, but the army size is really, really where it was at. 71 compared to 49. Sonik killed more units, but ultimately was unable to do the necessary damage. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, as Foggy takes this series 2-0.